Right. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Johnny.
But again, hello, Rushworth.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
I'm all right, mate. You might notice I got a bit of feedback about my sound last week. I wasn't loud enough, so apologies. I've got my microphone right up to my mouth like a young fucking Harry Carpenter.
Does that translate for some people as well? Is it a translator?
Well, we can get the subtitles on YouTube for people. I think some strong accents going on in this podcast, isn't there?
There is. It'd be an interesting one today.
Tell you what, that looks obscene. That thing that you're holding.
It's just a microphone. Do you know, like what David Coleman and Harry? You'll remember Bumble, Harry Carpenter and David Coleman when they were commentating. They'll have had one of these.
They think it's all over. It is now.
Yeah. How are we, Bumble? Are you okay?
No, still average, but
still average.
Cracking on.
Fair enough, mate. And Rushy, you've brought a friend along.
Yes. After the World Cup, the Irish obviously showed a bit of promise and stuff. I thought it was only right we try and get someone from the native island, as Irish as they get. Mr. Tim Murtagh. How are you, mate?
Morning, lads. How are we? Yeah, all good. Very Irish, as you can tell by the accent. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, mate. Appreciate it.
No, pleasure.
Thanks for coming on. Now, for those that are like listening and watching, me, Bumble, and Rushy are in a we've got a WhatsApp group, haven't we, lads? And every now and again, Bumble will just throw some wacky idea in for like a TV show or whatever it may be. And what was it this week, Bumble? Beach cricket.
Winter beach cricket in Northumberland. I mean, the beaches are fantastic. There are some wonderful, wonderful venues. It's really, really flat. And I haven't told you, Johnny, you know, Bamborough is as good as it gets. And Bamborough Castle have asked if they can direct message me. So I think they're in. It's got legs. I mean, there's plenty of clubs that want to join. And it's only a T5. We've had T20, T10. This will be T5. And each team, I've thought this through, it'll have 7 human beings of varying sorts of human beings. Two wild animals, a household pet, and any member of the pop group Mud. I mean, Mud were brilliant in the day. They did Tiger Feet. That's right. They did Tiger Feet. So it's got legs, and everybody that's listening to this podcast and watching, if you want to put a team in, just let us know.
I've got a few questions, Bumble, on this.
Go on.
The first one, what kind of ball are we using?
It'll be like a hard tape ball that's custom made for sand, and particularly for wet sand. You're talking a mere detail here. I'll talk this through eventually. And you bring your own stumps, of course. There are no showers. There's nothing like that. But you can jump in the sea and have a bit of a wash if you want. But it's only 5 overs. I think that's the future. It's like garlic bread. Peter Kay's back on tour, and he said garlic bread's the future. Well, in cricketing terms, T5, because eventually, I know where it's going. It's going to be T2. There'll just be 1 over from each end, and that's that. Get off down the pub. Yeah, it's got legs, I'm telling you.
T5, that sounds right up your street, Mert. 1 over.
Yeah, happy with that. Shorter the better.
I'm not sure how many beaches there are in London around Lords, but the coastal route up Northumberland is stunning. There's about 25, 30 miles of just pure glorious beaches.
Well, they've got the Canary Wharf. There's obviously a beach there if it's called a wharf.
There's a bit of sand down the Thames every now and again when the tide goes out. So yeah, we'll get down there and have a practice.
Good, it's sorted.
We'll have to pilot it, I think.
Me and you will pop down Seaburn Beach next week, and we'll have a crack.
We'll have a Johnny 12 or 13, however many creatures and humans Bumble mentioned there, and you can put a team together, Rush, and we'll pilot it. And Bumble, you'll have to umpire. You'll have to see
both ends. I'm all right
because you're the one making the rules up, so you're the only one who's going to know the rules.
Picking them up as we go along. I'm telling you.
That's all right.
W.G. Grace when he first started playing cricket.
Yeah, I'm not out. I'm never out. I'm never out. Put the bails back on. Just keep batting.
I can see Sky getting involved in this. I can see them covering this bit of winter cricket.
Yeah, well, they've no tells, have they?
Yeah, exactly. now the World Cup's on as well. They haven't got any football, so.
Look, Bumble, you're onto a winner.
I'll tell you, it's as good as that other one that I had. Strictly Come Drinking.
Oh, that was last week, wasn't it?
There's another one that Mertz would enjoy.
Strictly Come. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, time will tell. We'll give it a bit. We'll need to consider it a bit more. But watch this space.
Let's try and drum up some interest. If there's a few areas up in Northumberland keen, let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Jonny,
what?
Can I ask these two lads? Do you mind if I just ask these two lads? It's November now, and these are two senior players. What are you doing right now, cricket-wise? Because I'm hearing that clubs have gone back. What the hell are you doing at this time of year? If clubs have reported back,
It's my worst time of year. I had my first bowl actually last week. First bowl. I've never had a bowl before December before, but yeah, I was in the nets with the balls out. Yeah, turning the arm over.
Surely that wasn't by choice.
It was. I've sort of taken on a bit of a coaching role at Middlesex as well, so I'm going to play the 4-day stuff and help the bowlers out sort of with the white ball stuff. So I think Richard Johnson, the coach, was keen that I kind of showed the way to the boys and got stuck in the first week. So it's a lot of fitness, a lot of, as Rushy knows, this time of year, it's pretty painful, fitness tests and all that kind of palaver. But yeah, the season seems a long way off in November, to be honest.
Feels like it's just finished.
do both of you play any other sports in winter?
No, we're not allowed.
You're not allowed. Obviously, with your contracts and stuff and all the injuries with the England players a few years ago, I think now if you play anything, it kind of voids all your insurance and anything like that. So if anything happens, basically, you're fucked.
No.
Can't even have a kick about with the lads.
We're not even allowed to play football anymore.
Are you not?
No.
Dear me.
Been too many injuries from football, so they've banned that. They're basically trying to take any fun out of winter training, so I can see where they're going.
The only sport we can play, Bumble, is, throw a few arrows, a few frames of pool down the local boozer. That's about as good as it gets.
Beach cricket.
Beach cricket.
Well, I'm not in this year, but I was second reserve for the domino team at the local pub. And that is a cracking sport. 5s and 3s is brilliant on a Thursday night, but I'm only second reserve because I can't remember what dominoes have gone. And first reserve is quite a pretty girl called the Fragrant Susan. And she gets first reserve because she's prettier than I am. But darts is a great game. I noticed a few years ago that Steve Harmison, Alistair Cook and Jimmy Anderson used to take a dartboard round with them. They play darts in the team room.
Army used to love it. I think he had like a travel bag, like a little travel case that he took with him. I think Sure won 2. He told me like the only thing he took with him was his clothes, his dartboard, and his bowling boots. That was it.
I reckon that Cook and Anderson and Armisen are pretty good. We had a lad years and years ago when I played, a lad called Ken Shuttleworth, who was an Ashes winner in 1971 with Ray Illingworth. And he was a proper darter. He used to play around that Stoke area. John Law was a darter around there. Of course, he got Phil the Power at the minute and he just retired. But I'm staggered that you're going in November having a ball. That must be indoor nets. So you must get stir crazy in indoor nets. The noise, bang, bang, bang. It's a nonsense.
I think, to be honest, I think everywhere is slightly different in terms of how their winters are structured. I know Warwickshire, we went back last week, same thing, sort of testing and stuff. But there's only a few lads doing cricket who are planning on going away after Christmas. I know at Durham, we never did any cricket before Christmas. It's all sort of November, through to January is purely fitness based.
The thing that I find amazing is that some of our youngsters choose to stay at home. I mean, when I was there,
crazy.
when I was their age, I was like, as soon as November came, I was gone. I went to Sydney, did 5 winters in Sydney. It was the best time of my life. I just find it amazing that they would rather stay at home for the whole winter and go through the training indoors than go out and experience cricket in different conditions, which is what it's all about to me.
The only stumbling block with that the last few years, obviously, all the immigration rules and all that have come in. Like,
Yeah.
I got deported a few years ago.
I remember that, yeah.
And but as a young lad, you can certainly go for at least a few years. Like you say, why wouldn't you? One, it's an amazing life experience. 2, you get to play a bit of cricket in good weather. So I'm fully with you. Why stay and bowl in an indoor centre when it's freezing cold and pissing down?
It's very interesting that my eldest lad, I've got 3 lads and a daughter, but the eldest lad, who's the umpire, when he was 16, he went with Rod Tucker. Rod Tucker was our professional at Accrington, and Rod Tucker took Graham back to Balmain in Sydney at 16 years of age, and it's the best thing he ever did. It gives him independence, stand on your own 2 feet, make your own decisions, and play cricket, get better, get experience. And then the next 3 years, he went up to Maroochydore in Queensland and did the same. It was fantastic for his cricket education, really, to play in competitive cricket, really competitive cricket, and it stands him in good stead for when he comes back into county cricket.
I absolutely agree.
Spot on. Did anyone watch the World Cup final on Sunday? I didn't. I was at football.
I didn't watch it, but I followed. And I thought it was a bit of a doddle. They're a wonderful side. And then you get, you pick things up about what people are saying. And I don't know what the other 2 lads think about the T20 side, but the bowler got injured, and they're saying, if he'd have stayed fit, it'd have been a different story. Well, I'd come back and say, Mark Wood, Reece Topley, Dawid Malan, Johnny Bairstow are not playing. And they would have walked into that team, all 4 of them. And so to single out, well, if this lad hadn't got injured, which is sad, you don't want injuries, but we had 4 top players missing. They're a fantastic side.
Yeah, I don't think it would have made much difference. It was sort of 2 overs from Shaheen, wasn't it, that they missed? But it just felt like they were in control, especially when your mate Stokesy was still, at the crease. You kind of never felt they were in any danger of losing that game. But I suppose that's the difference, isn't it, between chasing 130 or chasing 160. That he could chew up a few balls and take his time. But yeah, I don't think it would have made much difference to the end result, to be honest.
What I found amazing about this World Cup at the start of it, Stokesy didn't start off very well, and everyone was sort of questioning his place in the team. Why is he there? Why is he there? And then that knock he played against New Zealand to basically get them through, it was like, he's got the coolest head going in those situations. And he, in my opinion, he's the ultimate big time. It's a big game play, and he showed he won those 2 games.
But it's just what he gives the side. It's his bowling. He'll bowl you in over at the start. His fielding's fucking phenomenal. And he does, you're right, he just delivers when it matters. You know what I mean? We'll do the whole greatest ever England player in a couple of weeks,
Actually,
but I reckon
he'll
definitely come into the conversation, won't he?
I remember a few weeks ago, we all had our predictions, the 3 of us. Pretty sure I picked England.
You did? He did, yeah.
Did he?
New Zealand, didn't I? I would do. I'd have gone New Zealand.
Yeah.
And of course, England beat them. Pakistan got through because of that result. South Africa, Netherlands. But Pakistan always will always come through. They're so unpredictable.
Yeah. Good side though. Right, Tim, former Ireland international. How did you get involved with the Irish team?
I basically found a dodgy passport down the back of my sofa one day and thought, that'll do. No, I sort of from my granddad backwards, they were all Irish, and then he moved over to England when he was younger. So I qualified through my grandparents, basically. I got to about the age of, I think I was about 30 at the time. I'd sort of given up any hope of playing for England at that point. And it was just a conversation with Ed Joyce, who was at Middlesex at the same time. Just asked me about my kind of roots and sort of said, you know, I think you could qualify to play for Ireland through your grandparents, and would I be interested? And absolutely, at that point, kind of play international cricket right at the back end of my career was too good an opportunity to turn down. So yeah, I had sort of 7 or 8 great years traveling around the world, playing in some world tournaments, and loved every minute.
Is there, you know, saying Ed Joyce got in touch, is there someone from the Ireland point of view who sort of looks at players and does their research and finds out if there's a chance? Or is it a case of someone coming up to you and say, do you know if there's a chance, any idea?
Is that you angling? Are you angling for a call up there? Like,
not now. Yeah, I've looked for the last 7 or 8 years. Don't worry.
Yeah, so Mark Garraway, I think, was the performance director at the time, and he kind of gave me a call, and I had to go through the process of getting my passport and had to find my sort of granddad's original birth certificates, and it was quite a sort of process to go through to actually, you know, be qualified. But I'm glad I did. As I said before, they're a great bunch of lads. We had some really good times on tour with them, and as I said, it gave me the opportunity to play sort of at the top level, which is, you know, something I always wanted to do.
Bumble, quick question for you, because I know you're a bit of a trivia man, a quiz man. What honour and accolade does Tim hold playing for Ireland?
You've got him there.
Or no,
he stumped, didn't he?
What about there's a clue?
It involves
it was a historic game in itself, and then obviously Mert performed very well. If it's what I'm thinking.
No, I don't think it is.
What is it?
Well, he'll correct. I got only right. I'm shit at research, Mert. Right, so I got this off Wikipedia.
Anyone could.
Tim bowled Ireland's first ever over in Test cricket.
That's right. Yeah, first ball.
He had the honour of bowling the first ever ball for Ireland in a Test match.
Can I ask you a question, Mert? You've obviously opened the ball for however long at Middlesex. That test for Ireland against England, was there any more nerves than you would normally have played? Or did it just feel like, you know, this is my home ground, I know what I'm doing?
Do you know what? I was probably going back to that point. So yeah, I had the honour of bowling the first ball in Irish Test cricket history. I was probably more nervous in that game, in the Pakistan game, because I don't tend to get too nervous about things. I'm pretty laid back, but I remember strapping my boots up and sort of it suddenly dawned on me. I was like, shit, I'm going to be bowling the first ball in Irish Test cricket history. It was quite a big thing, and I missed my length by about 6 meters. It kind of ended up coming out as a Yorker. So, but going back to the Lord's game, I kind of didn't really have an excuse to bowl badly in that kind of game. It was, as you say, at Lord's, a place where I've bowled countless overs and played countless games there. So I didn't really have any excuse to bowl badly. The pitch was pretty green. We've got a good Irish groundsman at Lord's, so he looked after us. The rest is history.
Fifer in Test cricket.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a great time to play England because they'd obviously had the World Cup final, I think only probably the week before. So I think a few of the lads were probably still in celebration mood. So it was a good time to get them. But unfortunately we had such a great morning and such a great start to the Test match, but we couldn't quite crack on and win the game. But we certainly gave them a fright, I think, on that first day.
Was that the game that Jack Leach got runs?
Yeah. He came in as night watchman in the second innings and got 92, I think.
He did. Yeah, he did. Yeah. I worked on it. I worked on that game. Yeah, it was a good game.
Yeah, I mean, quick game. It was over. We got bowled out for 38 on the third morning, so we were, it was all over pretty quickly on day 3.
See, I mean, character-wise in the Irish team, you always think about characters in a team, and in particularly Irish cricket. I don't know the lad who opens the batting, but he reminds me so much of Colin Milburn, who was quite a chunky chap back in the day, who give it a whack. Paul Sterling, look, soul.
He is a great lad. He's a great character. I saw him last night, actually. We had Stephen Finn had a testimonial dinner at Lord's. So he was there. Owen Morgan was there as well. So he was on great form. He's a fun character to tour with, lives life to the full. And, a very fine cricketer, like hits the ball as hard as any guy, that I've bowled at in my career. So I'm sure Rushy's played against him a few times as well.
I think I've only ever played against him when he was at Middlesex in Champo cricket. I don't think I've come up against him in.
I suppose we don't really play you guys in white ball cricket that often, do we? So
yeah, I'm sure he has one of the best T20 records in the world now, doesn't he? In terms of sort of runs and averages, strike rates, all that kind of stuff. He obviously plays a shitload of cricket and he travels everywhere, but he performs in most of the tournaments he gets in.
Yeah, I'm surprised no one's ever picked him up in the IPL, to be honest. He's done it in most competitions around the world. And, on his day, he's as dangerous as anyone.
Well, for you go back to somebody like Colin Milburn, who was an cricketer in his day, and he was the same build, but he could whack a cricket ball and snap as well. And Paul Sterling, he looks like Colin Milburn in that he looks like he gets quite thirsty. Is he a thirsty?
He's a thirsty and hungry individual most of the time. Yeah.
Yeah, a bit. I mean, Samit gets hungry, doesn't it? I'll get fair. It's all right.
Oh yeah, as I said, he's a great lad to tour with. If you're ever, struggling for any drink, he will find it. We've toured we were in Sharjah at some point where you can't find alcohol anywhere, but if you go to Sterlo's room, he'll always have a bottle of something for you.
Sounds like beefy. That's beef. Find it anywhere. It gets like a water diviner or a beer diviner. Yeah, there'll be some over here, and he comes with crates of it. Don't bring an odd bottle.
Bumble, he sounds like a good recruit for Strictly Come Drinking.
He is. They're the type of blokes that you want around, and I can't believe that production companies don't buy it. It's brilliant. Yeah. Anyway, we'll move on. Right? Go on. We did chat. The three of us chatted about what's the worst job you've ever had. What's the worst job of work that you've ever had? I'll kick it off. I was a tyre fitter in Burnley. That's Jimmy Anderson country. I mean, in January, in an open tyre bay, changing wheels and terrible. And that wheel balancing, they put a new valve and a balance to your wheels. That's where you make your money. That's where you make your money, because they don't need balancing and they don't need a valve, but you make your money. That's how you do it.
Oh, I hear you.
Worst job. Jonny, you've been working where you are for 20 years or something now, haven't you?
I've been where I am now for 18 years. But before that, I've done bloody all sorts. Bar, I work behind a bar. I've done car washing, valeting. I had a job in a call centre. I had to ring people and try and sell them gas and electric. You know a bit about that, Rush, because I know you were a bit of a salesman before you.
I've done my call centre
before you made it big. But anyway, I had a job. And the name used to flash up on the screen. You used to have to say, oh, hello, I'm calling from wherever, to try and get you some savings on your gas and electric. And they just used to tell you to fuck off all day long, right? All day long. But anyhow, this one day come up, didn't it? I had to think quick on my feet. Came up, name, Mr. Kipling. I thought, right, here we go. I went, hello there, Mr. Kipling. I'm just phoning up because I can give you some exceedingly good savings on your gas and electric. He went, fuck off. He He must have got it all the time. I thought I was fucking brilliant. But anyway, that was the worst. I hated that. Hated that job. Rush.
When I first got released from the academy, I went and worked in Argos as just like putting the stuff away when the delivery van came in. I was like, it was all night shift. So Monday to Friday, night shift. It lasted 3 weeks, I think, and I was like, nah, I can't do this. Terrible. Not very exciting, but it was so boring. The most boring group of people I've ever met in my life. It was like blokes who'd been doing it for 20, 25 years and loved it. But it was so shit, honestly.
Have you ever had a job, Mert?
I've actually been doing some bar work this winter, which, funnily enough, so myself, Angus Fraser, and another guy have opened a craft beer bar in the village where we live. So it kind of opened in May this year. So I've done a few shifts down in the bar. It's good fun, actually. I've enjoyed it.
I saw that. I saw you put on this morning showing the World Cup. Is that right?
Yeah. We've Gus is down at Curry's at the moment buying a big screen. So we're going to put a TV up for the World Cup games, and I think we're going to show sort of some rugby there as well. Basically anything that's on kind of free to air TV, because I think the Sky subscriptions are ridiculous for bars and pubs. But yeah, we've opened a little craft beer. It's kind of a bit of a side venture for us.
Mate, we don't mind if you want to plug it. You can say the name and let people know where it is. We don't mind.
Finny and Ted's.
50 quid.
Finny and Ted's, yeah. We'll have to get you down. Bumble, you enjoy a craft beer, do you? You're an ale drinker or a...
Yeah, he produces his own.
Yeah. I've got a brew going at the minute, an IPA 6.5%, which is ready in a week. It'll be ready in another week. But the best thing about that, Tim, is that, I mean, he's such a happy-go-lucky soul, is Angus, isn't he? He'd be such great company behind the bar. I mean, he's always smiling, and he's got a bit of repartee about him, hasn't he?
He keeps offering to do shifts behind the bar, and we kind of have to quietly sort of push him to one side and keep him away, to be honest. Yeah, he's not the most welcoming face you want to see behind the bar.
The best thing, when I was England coach, we put a batter with a bowler as he's your buddy. You know, he's your buddy, and you've got to teach him how to bat and so on. And of course, the big pairing was Atherton and Fraser, big mate, huge mate. They'd fallen out spectacularly, absolutely spectacularly. That he's gone in for his net as Angus, and Atherton's going, no, you've got it, you need to. This is what you. And so Gus has kicked off and said, well, why don't you fucking do it then? I've been watching. Oh my goodness me. Yeah
he hasn't changed. If anything, he's got more miserable.
Yeah, he's a very generous lad though.
He is. Yeah,
he were a damn good bowler, fine bowler, tall, similar bowler to you, but to the both of you, hit the length all the time. Length does matter.
Exactly. Right, Mert, I think Bumble's got he loves a quiz. This fella. Have you got a quiz?
I've got 5, Tim, on Middlesex County Cricket Club.
Oh, God, here we go.
And if you get, I'll tell you what, I'll really generous. If you get one right, when you play Warwickshire, you get one off the mark, off Rushy. When you come into bat, he'll give you one off the mark. I'll sort it out with Mike Robinson. That'll be no problem. That'll be okay.
Okay.
Your first question, and as a bowler, I think you've got 959 wickets for Middlesex at about 4.8, about that. But who has got most wickets for Middlesex in county championship cricket?
Oh,
I'll have to rush you.
Is it someone called Hearn?
No, it isn't. So one you've got wrong. It's your first answer, I'm afraid. I have to take it. This fella took 2,361 wickets. Go on, I'll give you another go.
I know this. It's not Alan Moss. He's somewhere a bit further down that list. Oh, I've seen it. It's up in the Middlesex room.
Yeah.
It's like the list of. Oh God, I can't remember his name.
Fred.
Titmus.
Correct.
Okay.
Second question. It's to think about this. Put these in order of most runs in Championship cricket for Middlesex. Put them in order. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Dennis Compton, Mike Gatting, Clive Radley. Put them in order. Who's first of them 3? Who's got most runs?
I'm glad he's not asking me stuff like this. I wouldn't have a clue.
I'll get you next. I'll get you on Warwickshire and Durham.
We've done a quiz. I wouldn't bother asking him now about anything. We've done quizzes on this before.
Go on, Tim. Who's first?
Right, my 3. I'm gonna go Gatting, Compton, Radley.
Oh, it's so close. What's he got? Gatting is correct. Radley is second, 24,000. Compton, 21,000.
Good question.
3. You're okay, Rushy, at the minute. There's none off the mark just at the minute. Who was Middlesex? Your Middlesex captain. Who was Middlesex captain in 2014?
Jesus. Chris Rogers.
Oh, it's one off the mark. Fantastic, fantastic answer. Brilliant. Chris Rogers it is. Right, that's one off the mark. So we'll carry on. You get a bonus here. You could get a 4. It could be 9 leg. This one off your hip, you've got 4. How many county championship titles have Middlesex won, including the 2 shared?
Oh. God. Do I need to be bang on here, or are you giving me within 2?
Well, it'll be unlucky for some.
It's got to be 13 then, is it?
That's a 4. That's 4. What year did Middlesex win the T20 Cup, and who did they beat?
2008 against Kent in the final. I was playing.
I remember that game.
Double figures against Rushy. That's correct. Absolutely correct. 2008. And for a bonus run, where was the venue?
The venue was at what it would have been then as the Rose Bowl, but is now the Aegeus Bowl. I'm pretty sure Rushy was there that day. Durham, we played Durham in the semis.
I wasn't there. I remember watching it.
Yeah.
He was lifting shells off the back of wagons.
I was
Night.
playing for the academy against Gateshead Fell.
Were you? Okay.
So when Pollock played, Chandapal, we had all the big dogs out.
That's right.
We didn't put in a very good performance. It was a bit. I think there's been a few questions asked about that game.
So yeah, Aegeus Bowl 2008.
Correct. Well done. You got 3 right. Well done. Well done. Terrific.
Well done. So we are coming to the end of this show. I think one of the things we want to call, I think this kind of went pretty, I don't know whether you've seen it, Mert, but this went pretty viral over the weekend. It was a cricket club round here where me and Rushy are from, called Seaham Park. They've kind of made a bit of an announcement, and it's kind of took off a bit on Twitter, like Jack Russell's been onto it and a few others. They're essentially, given like the current rates of inflation and cost of living, they're not going to charge any of their players, any juniors or any senior players, any subs for at least the next 12 months. All their junior and their senior indoor nets and coaching will also be free, thus making free cricket for all connected with the club.
That's fantastic.
It is brilliant. It is. It's really, really good. And I think I made a kind of off the cuff, flippant comment on this the other day that if clubs can afford to pay some mediocre cricketer £1,000 or £1,500 for a season, have they got their priorities right if they're charging young kids to come and play cricket? That was my question. But anyway, yeah, I think just well done to Seaham Park, isn't it, lads? I think that's brilliant.
No, it's good. We've obviously done a few shows there. I've done some presentations in the past for them. You know, they've got a massive junior section, and fair play to them for doing it. And hopefully it kind of spurs a few other people on around here, because we know clubs up here have got money and, you know, they're in positions to do that, but they choose not to. So hopefully this is the start of something, not just in the northeast, but maybe, you know, countrywide.
Well, John, I've got a thriving side to the club.
Seaham Park.
Yes.
Yeah, they have.
It's interesting because they actually share their clubhouse is theirs for the summer, and then as soon as the end of September comes, they hand the keys to the rugby section.
Yes.
The rugby team take over the clubhouse for the winter, so they don't have a social side yearly round as such. You know, they might have events off site somewhere over the winter, but they only have access to their clubhouse in the summer.
We've done a show there, and the bar isn't particularly big, right? I think they're extending it, but they've got a marquee, which you can get about 80 to 100 people in this marquee, and that's where we done a show in there. It was a good night, and they were good. They were a good crowd, man. And I think they're doing the right thing here. I think that's brilliant what they're doing. To be fair,
surely they'd want to enter a team in Bumble's beach cricket as well, then.
Seaham have got a nice beach, you know. They could be a host. County Durham as opposed to Northumberland, but they've got a nice beach in Seaham. They could
black sand. Seaham's the black sand beach, isn't it? Where they've done a few movies and stuff there.
No, that's up bloody. Oh, they might have. They've got a blast 100%. Beach. They've got 2 or 3 beaches, man, in Seaham.
Tenerife. We'll get a tour going.
Lanzarote. Hey, right. Mert, thank you so much for coming on. I know it was pretty short notice as well, but enjoyed it, mate.
No, it's been a good crack. Enjoyed it. Thanks for having me.
Good to chat you, lads. And practice. Enjoy
His sounds keep cutting out. What do you say there?
Cheers, Bumble.
Right, Mert. Take care, mate. Thanks for coming on.
Johnny, no problem. Enjoyed it.
We'll cross
paths.
Thank
you, gentlemen.
See you, fellas.
Take care.
Cheers, boys.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.